The same story is here also, na boss. Let us assume DAO class coding is not completed.
Please increase font size, sir.
Okay, let us assume DAO class coding is not completed. But uh, our our service class coding is completed. But our service class coding is completed, boss. But our service class coding is completed, and we want to finish. We want to finish unit testing of service class. Then we need to create mock object or fake object or dummy object for DAO class and assign or inject to service class in order to write test cases on the service class methods. I hope you got it. Service class is ready, DAO class is not ready. So we need to create a mock or dummy object for what class, guys? DAO class, and inject to service class, so that we can do we can do what, guys? In order to write test cases on service class method. In order to write test cases on service class method. Agree with me, boss? Getting my point here, guys? I want reply. Yeah, that is use case 1. Use case 2. Sharecon.com is a website, guys. Inside that, one service class is there. That wants to get share values, that wants to talk with BSE stock component, Bombay Stock Exchange stock component, which is there in a different place. External component or distributed application. Bombay Stock Exchange. Tell me, boss. At the time of developing service class in ShareCon, are we going to have tie-up with BSE? No. We will take license once everything is ready. But at the time of developing service class in ShareCon, come on, guys, we will be writing business methods. Those business methods should interact with the BSC component. But BSC component license we take what? Once everything is ready, because they charge huge amount of money. So though BSC component is not there, we should assume there is a BSC component and we should inject that one to what? ShareCon service class, and we should complete unit testing on it or not. Okay, guys. Now look at this. When ShareCon.com website is under development, we cannot take subscription of BSC component because they charge huge amount of money for that. Generally, the subscription will be taken after hosting or releasing the ShareCon.com. Till that time, we need to take one mock BSC component assigned to service class of ShareCon.com to perform unit testing. Yeah, now you observe. Sometimes local objects should be mocked, should be injected to service class to complete the unit testing. Sometimes external services, external object should be mocked and should be injected to service class to complete the unit testing. To simply and literally complete the unit testing. What do you say, guys? I want reply from you people. Super, guys. Tell me. Note. Mock objects are temporary needs. Mock objects are for temporary needs. Mostly they will be used in the unit testing. These mock objects created in test methods are test case class, but not in the real code, like service DAO controller classes. Tell me, this is very important. In service class, listen to us. Mock objects are temporary needs. Mostly they will be used in the unit testing. These mock objects are created in test methods or in test case class, but not in the real method code, not in the real code, like service DAO controller classes, like service DAO controller classes. Convinced with me, guys? Everyone got the point?
అది ఏంటంటే మామూలుగా అది కొంచెం వేసినా పెద్దదైపోద్ది. దీని వీడియో వల్ల కిందది ఏంటంటే ఎట్ట పూసింది అట్టే అంటే వాయులు అప్పేదాం ఇక్కడ రాగానే వాసుకుంటుంది. పెదాలు కుష్టి కుష్టి రోగిష్టోళ్ళు పెదాలు ఉంటాయి అట్టున్నాయి.
Yeah, everyone understanding my point? While doing unit testing of service class methods in test case class, we create dummy local objects, dummy external object we assign to service classes to complete unit testing of service class methods. To complete unit testing of service class method. Why we create dummy local object, dummy external object? Because they are not ready, but their requirement is there in service class. Their requirement is there in service class. So though they are not ready, we give the feeling they are available in dummy manner. Those methods are giving some dummy results. So by injecting these dummy objects to service class, we complete our activity.
చెప్పా ఏంది ఇట్లా చదువుతున్నా చెప్పు. ఏం చదువుకుంటారు మేము మెంటర్? చదువుకుంటున్నానంటే చెప్పు. ఈ కొట్టినానంటే మూర్ఖలు రాది జోకులు నువ్వే.
Yes, na boss? Okay, now listen carefully. We can do this mocking in three ways, guys. Using mock object or fake object provides temporary object. Using stub object, providing some functionality for the methods of mock object, like specifying certain inputs and certain outputs should come. Now listen, mock object means just dummy object. Stub object means mock object with some functionality for the business method. If I give these inputs, this output should come. Array, you created dummy object for DAO. No use, na? When I call certain method of DAO giving X input, I should get this Y output. I should get this Y output. Understanding my statement, guys? I should get this Y output.
ఏం చేస్తున్నావు ఇప్పుడైతే పాప? సరే సగం సగం మాట ఏమర్థం. అమ్మాయి పాప ఇప్పుడు బాగుందా? ఆ అమ్మాయి కాదు సంధ్య, వేరే అమ్మాయి. బాగుంది అమ్మాయి వాళ్ళ బాగుందా? బాగుంది సంధ్య. అమ్మాయితో మాట్లాడట్లేదు.
Are you understanding my statement, guys? Stub object is the extension of mark object. Stub object is the extension of mark object. Okay, specifying some dummy functionalities, saying that when these dummy inputs are given, this dummy output should come. Are you understanding my statement, guys? That is stub object. Next, spy object. It is called partial mark object or half mark object. That means if you provide a new functionality to the method, that will be used. Otherwise, real object functionality will be used. And a spy object is like what, guys? It will be having real functionality also, boss. If you provide new functionality, dummy functionality, it will use. Otherwise, it becomes ready to use real functionality. So, though real logics are there, though real logics are there, if you want to provide new functionality on temporary basis, you can provide it. Otherwise, if you don't provide new functionality, it will use the original function. But while working with the SWI object, we'll be having real object also. We'll be having real object also. Yes, boss. Tell me, stub and spy objects are extensions of mark object. Defining the functionality for the methods of mark object is called making mark object as the stub object. Clear, boss? Spy object is the mark object that acts as wrapper around the real object, where the new functionality of the method will execute if defined. Otherwise, old functionality will execute from the real object itself. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Come on. I hope you understood. Mark object. Just a dummy object is created. Stub object. In stub object, what we do? We take 1-2 methods of that class. We take 1-2 methods of that class, right, boss? We take 1-2 methods of that class and we specify if these inputs are given, this output should come. That is stub object. Spy object is created around the real object, real DAO, real external object. Okay, on the top of it, we specify new functionality saying that if this is given, this should come. If this is given, this should come. Or when this method is called, I should increase the count. If done, okay. If not done, real functionality will execute. If not done, real functionality will execute. Right, boss? Okay. Mahendra Gopu, I think you lost somewhere in the Zoom. Relog in. Instead of creating classes manually to prepare mock stub spy objects, we can use marking frameworks available in the market which are capable of generating such classes dynamically at runtime as in-memory proxy classes. Listen carefully. DAO not ready. I want to create a dummy DAO class, dummy DAO object. Come on, guys. And providing functionality to the methods of DAO. Works na, boss? For that one, we can take the support of mark frameworks. What do you mean by in-memory frame? DAO means data access object. It's a class having persistence logic. It's a class having persistence logic. Is that clear, boss? A Java class that contains persistence logic is called DAO class. The Java class that contains business logic is called service class. And service class internally uses DAO class. Service class internally uses DAO class. Clear, my dear? Okay. Service class, Java class with business methods. I'll increase the font, don't worry. Java class with business method having business logic. Java class with business method having business logic, right? DAO class. Java class with persistence logic. Persistence logic. Yeah. When I say persistence logic was code operations on DB tape. Code operations on DB tape. What is that? Insert record, update record, delete record, this kind of thing. Are you understanding my statement, guys? So this is the information about this one. Persistence means where we write JDBC code to perform insert record, update record, this kind of activities, right? Super. Okay, I think I said advanced Java is the prerequisite. Basics of advanced Java is required. Okay, now tell me, boss. Tell me, guys. Mock object is created means somewhere class should be created. Dummy object is created means dummy class also should be generated. Whenever I use these Marketo kind of frameworks, maybe for DAO class, maybe for external service which is not ready, but I have to keep it ready on temporary basis. One dummy class will be created as a in-memory class. For the dummy class, one dummy object can be created. That class is called in-memory proxy class. Why it is called in-memory proxy class? That is a special class, guys. When it is generated at runtime at JVM memory, where it is compiled, JVM memory, where it is where its object is created at JVM memory. What about the regular class? Regular class is saved as a .java file in hard disk. Come on, come on. Regular class .java file saved in what? Hard disk memory. Everyone. After compilation, dot class is saved in what? Hard disk memory. Only loading of class object creation happens at JVM memory. Nothing but RAM memory. But when it comes to in-memory proxy class, what happens, guys? When class will be created at runtime in JVM memory. When class will be compiled at runtime in JVM memory. When class will be loaded, object is created at runtime in JVM memory. All operations in JVM memory. You take a normal class, development in hard disk, compilation, dot class file in hard disk. Only the loading of class object creation happens in JVM memory, right? Okay, now look at this paragraph, everyone. Instead of creating classes manually to prepare mock stubs by objects, we can use marking frameworks available in the market, which are capable of generating, which are capable to generate. I want reply from you people. Such classes dynamically at runtime as in-memory proxy classes. The classes that are generated in the JVM memory of the RAM. At what time? Runtime. Check it out, guys. Normal class. You look at the normal class, compile time, runtime. Okay, .java hard disk memory, .class file hard disk memory. Okay, loading of the class in JVM and output you will get. Object creation and output will come. This is normal class, guys. This class source code, byte code is permanent because they allocate memory in hard disk drive. Look at the in-memory proxy class, guys. In-memory proxy class source code, where it is coming? JVM memory of the RAM. Byte code, where it is coming? Byte code means dot class file, guys. Byte code means dot class file. Come on, everyone aware of that. Where it is coming? JVM memory of the RAM. Loading of the class into JVM. Okay, at runtime it happens. Output also comes at runtime. Everything is happening at runtime now, boss. So can you see this class source code and bytecode? Can you really observe this class source code and bytecode? I want reply. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Yeah, all these things happen while normal class or application. And yeah, listen, guys. In memory class source code at what time you are getting? JVM memory. Byte code at what time? JVM memory. Loading of the class output, everything happening at JVM memory or not? So can we see the source code of in memory class? Can you see the byte code of in memory class? No. But we can feel the object creation. We can feel the object creation by injecting object to other classes. A normal .java file we can see because it is saved in hard disk. .class file we can see because it is saved in hard disk. But when it comes to what, guys? In memory class creation, source code generation happening at what time? Runtime in JVM memory. Execution, compilation is happening where? Runtime in JVM memory. Loading of class, object creation, execution of the method happening at what time? Runtime in JVM memory. In memory, but we can feel the object. But we can feel the object by injecting object to, by assigning object to, by accessing object to. Okay. By assigning object to other objects, boss. Listen, guys. This class comes when the execution of application begins. And this class ends when the execution of application completes. Everything happens in JVM memory of the RAM. Everything happens at JVM memory of the RAM. And moreover, we need mock objects only at runtime na, for unit testing, not forever, right? Mock objects you need forever, huh? Mock objects you need forever, permanently? No. Only while doing unit testing it is required. Once a real comes, once the real objects are ready, real classes are ready, we don't mind about mock objects. We need mock objects on temporary basis to complete the unit testing on what? Service classes. Those service class methods are dependent on DAO class methods. Those service class methods are dependent on some external application methods. See, during execution, mock object is visible. Once, tell me, during execution, we can get the mock object, we can use the mock object to complete the unit testing. Once execution is over, mock that in-memory proxy class related to mock object is not, it's gone. Because what's the lifetime of that in-memory proxy class? When application execution is started, proxy class is created, compiled, okay, loaded, object is created. That object only we call mock object. We use that mock object for completing unit testing. Once application execution is over, Along with other objects, these objects also will be displayed. What's the lifetime of any object, boss? Object lifetime is what? Runtime only, na? Yeah, during execution only this proxy class will be created. Objects also will be there only during execution. Yes, boss. Now listen, what are the list of frameworks we got to create these mark objects? List of marking frameworks. Markito, Popular, Markito, Easy Mark, Power Mark. Lot of Markito frameworks are there. Lot of Markito frameworks are there. Are you getting my point there, guys? All these marking frameworks are given on the top of JUnit framework. They run on the top of JUnit. Okay. Mr. Chinnaya, are you blind? Markito, Popular. Popular means best, na? Popular means best. Okay, I'll tell one small example, guys. I am developing e-commerce website. At the time of development, do I keep tie up with PhonePe people? Do I keep tie up with PayPal people for card payment? No, because all these tie-ups are money-related tie-ups. So for licensing, they need a lot of money. If I take tie-up today, from today onward, they charge money. If I take tie-up tomorrow onward, they will charge money. So what happened? That tie-up I will take once hosting is over, business is started. Are you getting my point there, guys? But in my service class, I should write a logic for payment. And I need to do unit testing of service class method. Though tie-up is not there with PhonePe, though tie-up is not there with what PayPal people. So until PhonePe tie-up is not ready, PayPal tie-up is not ready, we should take dummy PhonePe, dummy PayPal, having some functionality so that we can use those mark objects in testing environment and to complete unit testing on service class methods or not. Yes or no, na, boss? And in our real life also we do a lot, boss. In real life also we do this a lot. Okay, in school days, teacher asked satellite communication presentation. You have a real satellite? No. You will create dummy satellite and you will explain. You will create a dummy satellites and we explain to the teacher or not. So in a lot of places we keep dummy things until real thing comes. We keep a lot of mark objects until real thing comes, right? Yeah. Okay, let's see, guys. Example application setup, guys. Example application setup. Testing login management service class. without keeping login DAO class ready. Without keeping logging DAO class ready, right, boss? We can do marking programming. That means creating mark objects, stub objects, spy objects in the test case classes of JUnit in two approaches. Number one, programmatic approach. The mark objects will be created through Java code of Marketo API. Number two, what is there? Annotation approach. We can use annotation to create the same thing. We can create Farooq Sheikh. DAO class is not ready means you are not talking to database. Please. DAO class, real DAO is not ready. So no interaction with the database. Please. One day it will be ready. But before that only our service class is ready. We should complete unit testing on it or not. After listening entire Quran, you are saying who is Allah. You should not talk like that, right? This is what I am saying. DAO not ready. We are assuming dummy DAO is there until real DAO comes. And so that we can complete unit testing on service class methods. Yes, na? Now this fellow is asking me, sir, when DAO is not ready, then how to talk with the database? And once real DAO is ready, once the real DAO is ready, right now, boss? Anyhow, database interaction come. All these are temporary adjustments, right? Do you think these are permanent adjustments? No. All these are temporary adjustments. What do you say, guys? Okay. Once real DAO is ready, then we go for another testing. Right? Then there is no need of mark objects, guys. Now listen. Login management service class is going to use login DAO for interacting with the database to check whether we have given correct credentials or not. But somehow service class is getting ready, but DAO class is not ready. So though DAO class is not ready, we should give the feeling there is a dummy DAO class and we should go for completing of the unit testing. We should go for completing the unit testing. Right, boss? Completing the unit testing. Yeah, Jupyter API I have added. One more dependency, what is there? Marketo core I have added. Marketo core. This is one dependency I have added. Getting my point? Okay, let's complete this one today, boss. Yeah, login service class needs login DAO, but login DAO not ready, login service is ready. Okay, here what? End user. Okay, login service management wants to use login DAO. Login DAO. It actually talks to database. Okay, it actually talks to database. Now the question is, though the real login DAO class is not ready, we should complete unit testing on login service management. Come on, login service management class, login service management class with the support of mark object, mark oblique stub object, with the support of mark oblique sub object. I hope you got the idea, boss. So now let me keep my setup ready, boss. Let me keep my setup ready first.
ఎన్ని నవ్వే వస్తుంది రికార్డింగ్ అంతా. ఇందాక కూడా చెప్పాను, చిన్నగా నవ్వాను కూడా ఎన్ని నవ్వు వచ్చి పెద్దగా నవ్వు వేస్తున్నాయి, ఎన్ని నవ్వే వస్తున్నారు రికార్డింగ్ అంతా. ఈ పక్కన పడుకుంటా.
So DAO class is not ready. We create dummy mock DAO or stub DAO or what? Spy DAO. In this case, mock and stub DAOs we create and we inject to service class in test cases and we try to complete the unit test. So that I need not to wait for DAO task employee to come and complete what? Development of DAO. I can complete this one, I can move to another task. Right, boss? Once the real DAO is ready, then I will remove dummy DAOs. I will start testing with the real DAOs. 516 guys. What's our workspace? 902. 902. I hope you understood the main intention, boss. You understood the main intention? Okay, in some car driving schools, guys, before keeping real car to in your hand, before giving real car to your hand, they will give simulator to in your hand. Once you are doing well in the simulator, then only they will keep real car steering in your hand or not. That's the one thing. Another thing. Okay, you joined in army. Do you think they will give? Yeah, pilot people also. Before keeping real aeroplane in your hand, they will create simulators and they will create simulators and they will put in your hand or not. Yes, boss. Similarly, when you join in army, do you think they will give real guns and real bullets straight away? No. First they will give some rubber bullets. So once you got confidence, once you start showing perfection, then they will give the real bullets to save the money and to save the lives. To save the money they do, or to save the lives also they do the same. Maven iPhone or key type iPhone. Maven iPhone or key type iPhone, quick start. Artifact ID, guys. Makito Pros 01 login application. Makito Pros 01 login application. Tell me, guys. com.nt.service. com.nt.service. Yes, boss. So we are ready with mock object. Marketo login app, boss. Marketo login app. Form.xml. Yeah, you are listening train sounds, huh? Yes. My society is surrounded with full of transportation. One side metro, one side MMTS, one side highway, national highway. So once in a while you will see sounds. Don't worry. Okay, boss. Right click, update project. Yes, it is changed to this one, guys. What are the jars we have to add? Marketo core. Yeah, junit4 we don't need, boss. junit5. mvnrepository.com. Yeah, tell me, guys. Jupyter API. Jupyter API. Jupyter API. JUnit Jupyter API, guys. 5.1.2. Select this, paste it. Yes, we are ready with the JUnit API. Yeah, this is the basic one. Marketo core, guys. Yeah, since I already used it, guys, whenever I type the word, you will get it. Why? Because I already used it. It will remember the history. That's a beautiful thing, guys. Okay, Marketo core. Marketo core. Here I am getting Marketo core, guys. So, say paste. This is my Marketo core. Yeah, params are not required because basic APIs are enough. Basic APIs are sufficient, boss. Basic APIs are sufficient here. Super, guys. Tell me next one. Yeah, this is junit4 setup is required. junit4 setup is there. I don't like this. I don't like this junit4 setup, guys. We'll use junit5 setup, guys. Okay. And I will change this one to test package. Yeah, there com.nt.service, guys, com.nt.test, boss. Come on. Java version is not changed to 17. Changed but not updated. Changed but not updated. Even update. Yeah, change it, boss. Change it now, update it, boss. Let it be. Okay, fine. Now listen carefully. Now jars or dependents are added. Super, guys. Tell me now, step number some source code is not given. Fine, no problem. Some source code is not given. I will give the source code separately to you people. Develop the service interface IMPL class and just DAO interface. Listen carefully. DAO interface, DAO implementation class is not there. Did you notice that? DAO implementation class is not there, boss. Are you understanding my statement, boss? Come on, everyone. Yes. DAO implementation class is not there. DAO implementation class is not there. Are you getting my point? Okay, source code is not there. Don't worry, I will give the source code once I complete the development here. Once I complete the development here. Are you getting my point? No implementation for DAO. No implementation for DAO. Are you getting my point? Super. Okay, now let's see, guys. Let's see. Okay, here I am taking one more package, DAO. Package com.nt.dao. Generally for interface we use the I word. Right click new interface, I login DAO. I login DAO. Super, boss. Here I declare the method. What is the method I declared? Public. Here I declare the method public boolean verify string username, string password. I just declare the method. No implementation class. Let's go here, boss. Tell me, boss. Here is my interface. I login management service. Guys. Here is my message. What is the message? Public string authenticate. String user, string password. This is the authenticate method, boss. Under this, what is there, guys? New class. Tell me. Login management, MGMT service IMPL. Login management service IMPL. Oh, array, it is not a Spring, boss. Don't bring Spring into picture. Login management service, please. Is it a Spring to use @ service? No, na. Is it a Spring to use @ service? Can we think about that? Can we really think about that? Can you really think about that? I want reply. Okay. We don't think like that. This is not Spring project. This is normal one, right? Is it the Spring one? Is it the Spring one, guys? No, it's not a Spring one, right? Can you think about Spring environment here, boss? No. Okay, boss. Tell me. Here I'm taking one parameter constructor, guys. Here I'm taking one param constructor. Let's have a look now. Private. I login DAO. Private I login DAO. Okay. Login DAO. DA. Yeah, here is the one param constructor, guys. Service IMPL, tell me here. I login DAO here, what is there, guys? I login DAO. Here is my login DAO is equal to DA. Login DAO is equal to DA. Clear was? I'm initializing DAO to service bus. Tell me here. Boolean flag. Boolean flag, guys. Tell me. Login DAO dot. Login DAO dot. Come on. Verify username, comma, password. Tell me return flag. Flag is equal to true. A ternary operator I am using, boss. Valid credentials. Other side, invalid credentials. Valid credentials and invalid credentials. Boolean flag is equal to login DAO dot verify user password. Okay, explain constructor. I'm assigning one class object to another object through constructor. Prasad Boddu, you have not studied this kind of constructors in your life. I'm initializing DAO class object to, I'm initializing DAO to service through constructor. I'm initializing DAO to service through constructor. What do you say, guys? I'm going to pass as the argument of the constructor. I'm going to pass DAO class object to service class as the parameterized argument of the constructor, as the argument of the constructor. Okay. While using this constructor, I should pass implementation class object or not? Okay, now tell me, boss, are we having real implementation class to test it? No. But service class method is using DAO class method now, boss. But service class method is using DAO class method. I want reply from you, everyone. Service class method is using DAO class method or not? I want reply. Service class method is using DAO class method or not? I want reply, boss. So unit testing becomes horrible. Okay, one more thing, guys. Here what I do is, if user equals ignore case, if user equals ignore case or equals empty string, or PWD equals empty string, right, boss? Throw new illegal argument exception. Okay, tell me, boss, what should I do? Username and password. Username or and password must not be empty. Must not be empty, guys. Then we are saying use DA. I hope you got it, boss. Super. Okay, now listen. Now I'm going to write test cases, boss. I'm going to write test cases. Let's see, boss. Right click, new, right click, new class. Tell me, test login management service. Test case class I am writing. Test login management service, boss. Super. Test login management service. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to create mock object for DAO, boss. Okay. Private static I login DAO. I want everyone to focus, guys. I login DAO. I'm taking the word mock DAO, boss. Control plus shift plus word. Mock DAO. Tell me. Public static void. Public static void setup, guys. Here is my what? Before all, right? This is my what? Before all. Are you there, my dear? Are you there, my dear, everyone? Okay. Verify method is by default abstract method na. Vijay, without knowing that you are attending Java classes, please boss, I'm not here to teach core Java. In the interface, method declaration is by default abstract. Esa no na? Guys, if you don't have basics, stop attending advanced topics. Don't waste my time and others' time. This fellow is asking, verify method is concrete method or abstract method? Forest fellow. Without knowing that, why are you sitting in advanced topics? Stop coming. Okay. Are mark DAO is one variable, boss. Mark DAO is one variable. So now I want to use Markito and I want to create a dummy class mark object for this DAO interface. I want to create one dummy in-memory proxy class implementing iLogin DAO interface. Whatever object is created for that class, I want to assign to mark DAO. So indirectly, mark DAO is representing what, guys? Mark object for DAO class or not? Mark object created for DAO class, that class is implementing iLogin DAO interface. Now listen carefully. What is the method we have to create the mark object? Markito.mark. Mark DAO is equal to, tell me. Markito is the predefined class, guys. Markito dot mark. Mark, tell me. iLogin DAO dot class. What it is doing, boss? What it is doing? Creates mark object for the implementation class of the iLogin DAO interface. iLogin DAO interface. So ultimately what happened, guys? It generates one in-memory proxy class implementing this interface. Okay. For that class, object is created and that object is referred by mark DAO. So indirectly, get mark object for, come on, get mark object for DAO IMPL. Yeah, entire magic is done by this mark na, boss. Entire magic is done by this. 1 minute to get the feeling. Sys out, what is there? Mark DAO dot get class. I'm printing the class name of the mark. Next, mark DAO dot get class dot get interfaces. I'm trying to print all the interfaces of that mark proxy class, guys. Array dot toString. Arrays dot toString, guys. So I'm trying to get the information. I want to check whether it is happening or not. Okay. Mark DAO dot get class. Tell me. Here is my Arrays dot toString, here is the string. Arrays dot toString. Tell me, boss, what it is doing? I'm getting the class name of the DAO class, mock object, mock DAO. I'm trying to get interfaces implemented by that class. Interfaces implemented by that class. This method is doing, this static method is creating the mock object for DAO interface, implementation class and returning that object. Super. Okay, now we are ready with DAO object, boss. Maybe mock object, but we are ready with that. So can I assign to service class, guys? Can I assign to service class? login management service login service. login service login service. Super, guys. Okay. Create a service class object having mock DAO object. Mock DAO class object. Tell me, guys, login service is equal to new login service IMPL of mock DAO. Now you understood, boss? I am initializing DAO, mock DAO with service class by using one param constructor. People asked me, now, why did you take this constructor? At least now you got the idea. I want reply from you people. It is creating mock DAO class object, boss. Having that one as the argument, we are initializing mock DAO to service class. We are initializing mock DAO to service class. Here only mock object is there. But we have to make this one as a spy object in the test methods. We have to make this one as a spy object with the test methods. Okay, I'm assuming Raja Rani are the correct username password. Anything apart from these two things are invalid credentials. I'm assuming, boss. Right, guys. Super, guys. Tell me. Public void test. What is the method? Test authenticate. Test authenticate, right? With valid credentials. Test authenticate with valid credentials. Agree with me, boss? Test authenticate with valid credentials. @test, boss. Again, regular JNT. Now tell me, boss, what should I do now? Real DAO class is there? No, we have a dummy DAO. Real DAO class is there? No, we have a dummy DAO. So that's why, okay, now I have a mock object, but I have to make it stub object by providing functionality. See, mockito.when, if login DAO.authenticate is called Raja Rani, then return 1. Okay, in our case, return true. Then return true. Okay, guys. Yes, boss. Listen, guys, use Mockito. Make, what is that? Make mock object as the stub object. Come on. Stub object by providing functionality. For the verify method. Right, boss? Verify method. Now let's take, guys, mockito.when. Come on, guys. Mockito.when. Tell me. Mockito.when. When mock DAO dot verify is called with Raja Rani. Raja is the correct username, Rani is the correct password. If mockito dot this when, then return Boolean value. So that means what, boss? Come on, I want reply. If at all verify method is called Raja and Rani values in any situation, it should return true. It should return true. Now tell me, boss. It should return true. Then tell me what is there. Assert equals. Assert equals. Assert equals. What is there, guys? Assert equals. What is expected here? Valid credentials. Assert equals valid credentials. Come on. Assert equals valid credentials. Assert equals valid credentials. Tell me, boss, what is that? Login service dot authenticate Raja Kama Rani. What is expected, guys? What is expected? Valid credential. What is actual? Raja Rani will give me what? Prachi Kunde. For the dummy object, if you specify some functionality to perform, that is called stub object. Prachi joined later. Joined late. Don't do that mistake tomorrow, please. Come on time. Already I am taking session at 9:30. Guys, what is the difference between mark object and stub object? Just dummy object is created, mark object. For dummy object, for certain methods, some functionality is defined. For the dummy object method, some functionality is defined. Then it is called stub object, na boss? Is it permanent functionality? No, na? When this method is called with this, what value should come? I'm just giving some dummy functionality. I'm saying, if this is given, this should come. This is not real implemented logic, boss. I'm just guiding it. If these are given, this should be given. See, guys, what happened? Login service dot authenticate return what, boss? Login service dot authenticate return what? Valid credentials. Message. When I give correct username and password, I'm comparing both here. Come on. Suppose if I give wrong ones. Guys, copy this. Say paste. Test authenticate with invalid credentials. Suppose if I give Rani1 as the password, then it should return what? False. Then I should get what? Rani1 here. Then I should get what here? Invalid credentials. Cool, guys? Then I should get what? Invalid credentials. Super. Then there is a possibility of calling business method without credentials, with empty username and password. Then I should get the exception. Or not? Then is there any need of Marketo object for that? Assert to throws, right, boss? Tell me. Illegal argument exception dot. Then executor object. Come on. Floor bracket opening and closing. Tell me here. What is there, guys? Here semicolon. Here is what? Login service dot. Authenticate. Empty username. Empty password. If I call this method with empty username, empty password, login test with no credentials. When I test with no credentials, I should get the exception. When I test with no credentials, I should get the exceptions.
వసన్నా ఏంటి స్పెషల్ ఈరోజా?
పీరియడ్స్
వచ్చిందా?
పండుగ స్పెషల్ ఊరుకుంటా ఉన్నా 22కే వచ్చింది. ఈరోజు ఏం ముందు వచ్చింది.
ఆవాహయామి ఆవాహయామి అంట పిలిచిగా
ఈ మధ్య నేను మనసు పరిశోధన జరిగిపోతుంది.
illegal argument exception dot class. Okay, login service dot authenticate empty string empty string.
అది తట్టుకుంటుంది.
అది ఎప్పుడు మైండ్లో రన్ అవుతానే ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి అది తీసుకోవట్లేదు. ఎట్టయితే ముందు బిఎస్ వచ్చేసేది.
Yes, boss. So we are ready with the JUnit test cases now, boss. Can we run the test cases? But still remember, do I have a database? Do I have DAO implementation class? But still I am able to test service class methods? Still I am able to test service class methods or not? By generating dummy DAO class object, mark object, right now, boss?
అన్న సౌండ్ వచ్చేస్తాడు, అదే మెయిన్ ఆడ.
Array, still I am using programmatic approach only. Here I created mark object through programmatic approach only. This I created mark object through programmatic. Annotation also there, I will tell that. Annotation story is also there, I will bring that into picture. So let's run this test case, guys. Let's run this test case. JUnit test. See guys, one in-memory proxy class came now. This is the name of the class. And that class is implementing interfaces. Okay, that class is implementing iLogin DAO interface. And one more interface mock access. That's not an issue. Okay, now tell me here, red color. What is the red color? Okay, something is not matching. Expected is invalid credentials, but it was invalid credential. Spell mistake, guys. V capital, here V small letter. No problem. That is small typing mistake, guys. Don't worry. That's a small typing mistake. That's not a big issue, guys. Valid credentials is fine. Okay. Expected is what, guys? Expected is what? Invalid credentials. Invalid V small letter. I have, okay. Invalid credentials, V small letter is there, but in the expected I have taken capital letter. In the expected I have taken capital letter. If that is solved, guys, we will get the test result positive. We will get the test result positive, guys. Right click, run as a JUnit test. Look at this green color. All the three tests are succeeded. All the three tests are succeeded without having DAO, right? Without having DAO class logic, without having DAO class code, we are able to do unit testing. Is it not interesting?
అమేజింగ్ అమేజింగ్ బ్యూటిఫుల్, నాట్ ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్. సంధ్య ఈరోజు నుంచే కదా 8:45 రిజిస్టర్ చేస్తే ఫస్ట్ మనకు అలా ఉంటే డెమో క్లాసెస్ వరకు ఇస్తారు. ఆ తర్వాత అంటే తెలుసు కదా, ఫుల్ స్టాక్ వాళ్ళంటే వాళ్ళకి అర్థమైపోతుంది.
Where is the DAO implementation class? That is in-memory class that is generated, right? Can you see the source code? No. The class is created when? Runtime. Compiled when? Runtime. Come on. Loaded when? Runtime. Object is created when? Runtime. So what is the class name? This is the class. And that class is implementing what, guys? iLogin DAO interface. It's going to be in-memory proxy class object or not? Here mock object is created for DAO, that is going to be in-memory proxy class, right?
మల్లికాయ ఫోటో పెట్టింది ఏంది మల్లికాయ ఫోటో పెట్టింది నాకు నేను ఓపెన్ చేస్తే వీడియోలో వచ్చేస్తుంది అదే
I hope you are understanding. Can we do this as a normal Java project, sir? Any project also same story, na boss. They are also same story.
సార్ 11 అయింది డెడ్లైన్ సార్ ఈరోజు
They are also same story. And moreover, I have not touched DA. I created dummy object in the testing environment, right? I touched it only in the unit testing environment. Did you notice that? Did you notice that, boss? Come on, I want reply. Okay. Yeah, boss. Yeah, your source code is given, guys. At the end of the paintbrush, source code is there. In the source code, okay, in DA2 authenticate functionality, you worry about only authenticate. That means username, password verification part only. Remaining everything, add user we will take tomorrow. That is next functionality we will take up tomorrow. Right, boss?